Imagine being cast out from a life of honor and prestige, forced to wander a land where you're neither a hero nor a villain. Today, we're diving into the untold story of the Ronin, warriors without masters, uncovering the gritty truth behind the myth of the lone warrior. In today's world, we romanticize the idea of a solitary warrior, armed with deadly martial skills and a cool backstory. In the same way, we often think of Ronin as lone warriors that wandered across the land, lived on their own terms, and went wherever they wanted. However, the real life of a Ronin was far from glamorous. In reality, the journey from a revered samurai to a masterless Ronin was a steep fall from grace, as samurai were not just warriors, but also bureaucrats, poets, and scholars, all under the protection and support of a feudal lord. When a samurai lost his master due to death, disgrace, or political change, he became a Ronin. This change was not just a career shift, but a deep loss of identity and status. The samurai class was greatly respected in Japanese society. In contrast, Ronin were viewed with suspicion and disdain, as they were often thought of as drifters and outcasts. The social stigma attached to being a Ronin was a heavy burden. Samurai followed a strict code known as Bushido, which emphasized loyalty, honor, and martial skill. Losing a master meant not only losing a job, but also their identity and legacy. Many Ronin faced the tough choice of either finding a new master, a dangerous and difficult task, or living as an outcast and dealing with the shame and dishonor of failing to uphold the principles of Bushido. One of the most pressing issues for Ronin was economic survival. Samurai were typically supported by a salary from their lords, giving them a stable income and resources. This financial support covered not only personal expenses, but also the upkeep of their armor, weapons, and sometimes a small group of followers. Once they became Ronin, this support vanished, leaving many in poverty. The economic reality for many Ronin was harsh. They were often left without any means to support themselves in a society that had little need for masterless warriors. Without a stable source of income, Ronin had to find other ways to make a living. Some managed to become mercenaries or bodyguards, but these jobs were rare and often poorly paid. The demand for such services was inconsistent, and competition was tough. Others tried to become martial arts teachers, though this was not always profitable. Some Ronin turned to manual labor or crafts, but these options were limited, as they often lacked the necessary skills and were unwelcome in towns and villages. As a result, many Ronin turned to less reputable activities, including gambling, theft, and even banditry. The desperation to survive sometimes led Ronin down dark paths, further damaging their reputation. The lack of legal and socially acceptable work pushed them to the edges of society, where they mingled with other outcasts and criminals. This environment often led to a cycle of poverty and crime, with little hope for redemption. Becoming a Ronin had a deep psychological impact. Losing a master often meant losing a sense of purpose and direction. Samurai were bound by Bushido, which guided their actions and defined their sense of self-worth. As Ronin, they found themselves adrift, struggling to reconcile their past identities with their present realities. The shame and dishonor associated with their new status weighed heavily on many, leading some to take drastic actions, including committing seppuku to restore their honor. Many fallen samurai saw seppuku as a final act of atonement, a way to regain some dignity in the face of failure and disgrace. The harsh realities of Ronin life sometimes pushed individuals into the world of crime. Without legitimate means of support, some Ronin became enforcers, thieves, or assassins for hire. This darker side of Ronin life has led to speculation about their possible links to the origins of the Yakuza, Japan's organized crime syndicates. The origins of the Yakuza, Japan's organized crime syndicates, are often linked to various historical and social groups. One of the commonly mentioned origins is from Ronin. After the fall of the Tokugawa shogunate in the 19th century, many Ronin were left without employment. Some of these former samurai turned to criminal activities to survive, forming gangs that eventually evolved into organized crime groups. While the historical connection between Ronin and the Yakuza is debated, it's possible that the social conditions and the need for survival led some Ronin to band together, forming groups that later evolved into organized crime organizations. These groups, often known as kabukimono, or crazy ones, were known for their flashy dress and disruptive behavior. They operated outside the norms of society, engaging in activities like extortion and armed robbery. The kabukimono were sometimes made up of disgruntled samurai, including Ronin, who found a sense of belonging and purpose in these loosely organized gangs. The transition from these early groups to the more organized yakuza of the later periods shows how Ronin could have played a role in the creation of organized criminal networks. Beyond economic and psychological challenges, Ronin faced severe social rejection. In a society that valued social hierarchy and order, being a masterless samurai was seen as a failure. The rigid class structure of feudal Japan did not easily accept those who fell outside of its boundaries. Ronin were often excluded from samurai circles and shunned by commoners who feared them. This isolation deepened their sense of alienation and despair. The lack of community and support networks left many Ronin vulnerable, with little chance for assistance or redemption. They became societal outcasts, wandering aimlessly and struggling to find a place where they belonged. The isolation experienced by Ronin was not just physical, but also psychological. The loss of status and respectability meant they were often cut off from former friends and colleagues. Even those who might have sympathized with their situation were cautious about associating with individuals who could bring shame or trouble. This social isolation made it even harder to find stable work or integrate into new communities, leaving many Ronin in a state of perpetual displacement. In contrast to the harsh reality of their existence, Ronin have been romanticized in modern media and popular culture. They are often depicted as noble wanderers, fighting for justice and embodying a rugged form of individualism. This romanticized image is far removed from the historical truth. The fascination with Ronin in modern times can be linked to a broader tendency to romanticize the past and create heroic stories about figures who went against societal norms. Films, books, and TV shows often show Ronin as lone warriors with a unique code of honor, standing up against corruption and injustice. This portrayal, while engaging, often glosses over the harsh realities they faced. The life of a Ronin was filled with difficulty and uncertainty. Stripped of their societal status, economic security, and honor, they navigated a world that often viewed them with suspicion and contempt. While modern portrayals tend to romanticize their existence, the reality was much tougher, marked by poverty, isolation, and sometimes moral compromise. The story of the Ronin is a sobering reminder of the human costs of societal upheaval and the lengths individuals will go to survive in adversity. It also serves as a reflection on the complexity of human nature, where the lines between honor and dishonor, morality and immorality, are often blurred by the harsh realities of life. The Ronin story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. It challenges simplistic ideas of heroism and villainy, offering instead a nuanced understanding of what it means to live on the margins. With that, our look into the harsh reality of being a Ronin comes to an end. We hope you all liked this glimpse into the struggles and the resilience of masterless samurai. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.